Good morning, fishy fam. It's so good to see you here, right here where the Aquarius go to be in the know, right here at the Aquatic Morning Show.
Good morning, everybody. How are y'all? And as you see, we've got the one and only Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks.
Hey, good morning. How's everyone doing?
Well,
Doing
the
great, bro.
internet was better. I had issues.
Right?
I had issues last night, and I had to move in here. I like being in my fish room. So as everybody knows, we've got Zenzo, and I got to meet Zenzo in Orlando.
Yeah, you and your doggies.
Me and my doggies, which are right underneath my feet right now. I'm gonna bring them to Dallas as well.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
At least Lena for sure, because I mean Lena is the one everybody knows and got to watch be born and raised, and so anyway,
Right.
everybody took pictures at Orlando with her, so she's the one everybody knows. But because I was dressing up, so I'm like, golly, can I handle both of them by myself? So usually I have Landon and Joe with me to help out with the dogs. But you have a dog, Zenzo, that y'all are a puppy.
Yeah, he's a puppy. He's actually in a cone right now because he just went through the fun stuff there. Yeah. I know, poor guy. Fortunately, I was up in Seattle at Cram Co-op at Corey's house over the weekend, so I wasn't home for the first couple of days of that. But yeah, he's a miniature Australian Shepherd, and he's tons of energy, a lot of fun. So love dogs. So, yeah, he's a good one.
They are definitely Australian Shepherds are handled. They're like border collies. They need a job.
Yes. Yep. In fact, even a lot of dogs are super food motivated, and of course, he's the same where he loves food, but he will sometimes just look at his food and are you gonna make me work for it? And so you have to run him around the house and do tricks and stuff before he eats. So it's
And you work a lot with your dog. Y'all do y'all have a strategic plan that y'all go by with him, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, so it's just making sure that because they're very smart dogs, right?
Yeah.
So they have to be mentally stimulated, not just exercise. So it's doing all the tricks and making them kind of go inside here, go over here, do this, do that kind of a thing. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
That's really cool. Hear mine in the back.
Yeah, I hear them.
They're playing. They're like, no, stop! You can't do that right now, because it's weird to them because they were not in the fish room, and so they usually sleep. Well, okay, so now they're starting to lay down because I got on to them. Except for Lena. She's going to go find a toy first. Good morning, Dave from Iowa. Mystery Snail Guardians. Natural Aquariums. Freaky Fish Lady, Miss Holly. Whips World. Geek Boy. Color Guppies. Miss Lori, Monster Fish Gal. Liquid Zoo. What's up, Matt?
I love these names.
Yeah, I know. Joseph Stanley. Skipper is coming in through Facebook because we're streaming through Facebook
Skipper
and YouTube.
How you doing, buddy?
That's cool.
Big Tank Hank showed up early. Well, actually, it's not early. I keep thinking we're at the same time. We're 2 hours. We're 2 hours later. So he's already home, probably. Benoski Tanks, Fish Dynamics. Oh, it jumped. Okay. Gabe's Aquatics. Fish Tank Barn. It's been a while.
Hey.
New local Austin.
Good to see you.
And we will probably see some people that we don't get to see all the time because we do go early, especially for we go early for the West Coast, and later for the East Coast. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Basically Jess reached out to me and said, I do the stream at this time. I'm like, that's 7 a.m. I'm not going to be able to do it at that time. So, and hence the change. I always love reading the names of people's channels. Sometimes I wish I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago that I did something different with my channel, as far as a name, just to make it better. But some of these are
I
pretty
dig it though,
cool.
man.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. It's just like I saw one here. It's like, oh, that's a good one. What was it? It was like Liquid Zoo. That's a
Yep.
cool. Like, oh man, I wish I thought of that.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah.
Mine, I wish I would have not come up with such a long name.
It's very long. Yeah.
It's very long. And then I was like, I end up telling people because they get the fins and the fur swapped all the time. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
Well,
do
for
it.
you,
I do it all the time too.
you're early enough to where if you were to change, your following would know where to find you. For
yeah,
me, at this
Right.
point, it's like it's too late. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if I did it sub 5 or 10,000 subs, it might have made sense. But now I'm kind of like, it is what it is, right? So.
Right.
Liquid Zoo said,
Right.
"Oh, I wish I had your fish room."
No kidding.
Yeah,
No kidding.
I'm very fortunate to have the space that I have. So.
Oh, it's a
yeah.
beautiful room too. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
Miss
Appreciate
Very
it.
Patty, good
beautiful.
morning.
I was watching your streams like when I first got onto YouTube. You're like one of the first few that I watched a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I was just like in awe all day watching those, like just drool. I want that and I want that and I look at that. I want that too.
Is your I can't remember. Is your room painted black?
It's not painted. It's actually it's all of the walls are black, but they are acoustic panels.
Okay.
So
Oh, nice.
when we so the original is so it's my basement. In the original fish room, it was just me and it was just kind of an overflow for my tanks upstairs in the house. So I was doing a lot of African cichlids at the time, and I needed like QT tanks, hospital tanks, breeding tanks, grow out tanks, kind of a thing. So it's like, oh, I'll just put 2 tanks down here, 4 tanks, 8 tanks, 12 tanks, and then it became like a full fish room where I kind of made it a fish room, and then I insulated the walls with insulation, like the insulation that you would use between the siding and a house, and it was all silver,
Oh,
so
okay.
it looked like the inside of like a walk-in refrigerator. So it was like this big silver box. Like I should wear like a tinfoil hat on my head, like you know. So when we remodeled it, so Corey flew down here and Dean flew down here and spent like 3 days remodeling the fish room.
Wow.
And so we basically redesigned it to make it aesthetically pleasing. So before it was like that refrigerator look with like airline tubing on the ceiling, and you could see all the PVC pipes for the air system. So that was all hidden, so you can't see it anywhere. And then we also made it sound better. So that was the acoustic panels to make it so that there's no echo, that you know as I speak or anything that it catches on the wall and dies. And then you don't really hear like the pump, and you don't hear the air pump. You don't hear like my dehumidifier. A lot of that stuff you can't hear on camera because we designed it to be quieter, kind of a thing. So it was built
really
for you
cool.
guys. That's kind of how I say is, you know, I get to enjoy the fish, but the room is kind of made for everyone else.
So are those acoustic panels expensive?
They are pretty expensive.
Okay.
Because there's just like anything, right? So you look for something and it's like, oh, like I found these for like $30. No, that's not a real panel. Or, oh, that's just a moving blanket, which you can use. But the good ones are like $80 to $100 a piece, I think. And they're like super heavy. So you can't, you have to like, they come with the eye hooks, the metal eye rings. And then you need to like have like a real hook to hang them. So they're basically used like in, sound studios or like in production where they have them on these giant C stands, which is like a metal stand, like a rolling curtain kind of a thing, and then they can put them anywhere to catch sound from bouncing. So, but there's once you have them up, they're great. They're just and they look good too, because you know
they look amazing.
Makes you look at the tanks and not the walls and kind of a thing. So,
well, I'm reason I ask because I'm getting moved outside to a bigger room and everything like that, and I've got to do the floors, I got to do everything, and instead of painting or other than paint, nope, we were talking about painting it black, but it's so closed in, there's no window, there's nothing, so I don't want to feel like I'm going into a hole. But on the other side of that, I want, not to have
Right.
much reflection.
Yeah, so you won't have any reflection, obviously, with dark walls and no windows. So there's no windows in that room. It's completely pitch black. So even at nighttime, on a timer, I have a Wi-Fi. I mean, I have a nightlight come on because it's too dark to where I can't go from all tank lights to complete like darkness. It's like a black hole.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
so I have a nightlight that kicks on as the lights turn down and dim down. So the way that for me, like when all the lights are on in the aquariums, it's like they are the windows.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's too dark. But for camera, you always have to make sure that you're going to have a light or a couple of light sources on you to film.
Yeah.
So that would be the most important thing. If you're going to stream down there or whatever, just make sure you have a good light shining down on you.
Yeah.
Someone asked if I still have the cinder block stands. I do. So the entire fish room is built on cinder concrete blocks, essentially. And I've just hidden them with some plywood panels that were painted black. So.
Well, how awesome is that?
That's awesome.
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the easiest way of making a sturdy stand quickly.
Yeah.
And I've built stands, like the 2x4, method, and one of my 55s down there is built on 2x4 stand. But the concrete blocks are super strong. They can hold hundreds and hundreds of pounds. In fact, if you look at some of my rows, there's multiple 75s or 90s on top of these things.
Right.
And once the weight is on those concrete blocks, they kind of like lock in together. And and then the other thing is that I'm in California and we're earthquake country. Because they are not a solid stand, there's a little bit of flex, like you almost like designed it that way, like a bridge. So if it was rocking, the stand moves and the tanks stay fine as long as the tank's not cracked. I did it one time with a cracked tank and I made the crack bigger, but besides that, yeah.
We've had some more people roll in. Miss Dee Dee,
right.
Good morning. S, good morning. Multi-tank addiction. Good morning. 3G, good morning, Greg. And did I say good morning to S? I don't remember. So, oh my goodness.
I was going to ask you too, Zenzo. I'm not a stalker, I promise.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I was on your Instagram.
To start a sentence, Rocko.
And I was looking at some of the stuff that you do on there. You're kind of, I don't want to say like full into it, but the aquaponics thing, that's really interesting that you do that.
Yeah, so that was just kind of that was like an experiment. So to give everyone background, I live in San Francisco in the city, so not like a suburb. And so my home is 3 levels. It's relatively big. We're like 2,600 including the basement square feet, but there's no yard. So I've got this patio that's raised. It's a raised deck kind of a thing where my barbecue and stuff are out there. And I wanted to do like an outdoor tub, but I wanted it to look nice. So I built this, originally I built this, basically it's like a 120 out of plywood, 2x4 by 2, and put some goldfish in there. And for the filter, I ran a pump up to a little grow bed that you would get like at Home Depot or Lowe's, filled it with aquaponics substrate, and grew like produce in there. So I had like lettuce one time, lots of green onions.
That's awesome.
I was doing tomatoes. I did strawberry. So I was doing like lots of things like herbs and, easy things.
Right.
Because that was my filter. That, obviously I couldn't have plants in the tank because the goldfish. So that was my filter. And then I decided that I wanted to go bigger. So I did it on a 8-foot plywood platform. So it's 8 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet. And so now I've got a koi fish in there. Basically it's like a 500-gallon pond.
Wow.
And then I made a larger box for the filter.
But
I kind of got tired of having to maintain like produce. So I just have like this giant like thrush pond plant out there. and then like there's
Right.
mint and stuff like green onions. But yeah, but it's still
Right.
like it's the easiest system. It's the largest system I have, obviously at 500 gallons, but it's the easiest system that I have because there's so much roots in that filter system that even with koi fish and goldfish, which are can be messy, like the
Right.
water is like it's like the best water of all the tanks. I hardly ever have to do any water changes, mostly just topping off from evaporation. So it's still 10%
Sure.
water change
Right.
there. But yeah, it's great. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome, man. Well, there you go, guys. You heard it first right here from the man that knows.
Yeah. So it's
Get you
just
an aquaponics system.
yeah, it's fun, and I always say if I ever move somewhere tropical, and the end goal is to move to Hawaii, and I would do like something outdoor, like a real like pond, and maybe grow tilapia that we can
Right.
eat and grow vegetables out of
Oh
it. So
yeah, there you go. There you go.
yeah.
Now, doesn't Hawaii have a ban on exporting fish right now?
Right now, I don't know.
Or maybe they did. I don't know. I
I
heard
don't.
I know
something
they
about that
did.
the other day.
It might be on tropical fish, like
Yeah.
collected in the ocean, but I don't.
Okay.
But like if you like reached out to HC Aqua and said, "Hey, I want to buy
Yeah.
some guppies," I think he could ship them to you. So
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I always get part of the story, not the entire story.
right. That's the problem.
Right. So you are known for your lovely, cute mud skippers.
Yes. Yeah. I actually so the story with the Mudskippers is Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
from Aquarium Co-op.
Mhm.
He went to Hawaii one time for a little mini vacation and visited Jesse, HC
Mm-hmm.
Aqua.
Mm-hmm.
It's HC Aqua and HC Aquatics, I think, depending if you're on Instagram or YouTube. But he
Right.
visited Jesse and filmed an Indian mudskipper that Jesse had, like 3 or 4 of them in
Mm-hmm.
like a 20 long or something. I was like, wow, that is really cool. I never knew you could keep them. And so my family lives in Hawaii, and
Right.
they've lived
Mhm.
there for gosh, over 30 years now. They moved there when I was just finished my freshman year, starting my sophomore year. So I stayed here in
You
California to
stay
finish
sad.
school. So so they lived there, and when I went to visit, I usually would before COVID would go 3 or 4 times a year to hang out. So
Man.
was visiting, and my brother is also into aquariums, and I said, hey, like there's this guy Jesse that lives not too far away, and he said we could come by and check out his tanks. And so we drove over there and saw all of his tanks, and I looked at these mudskippers and I fell in love, and I said, wow, like this is amazing. Like I cannot understand like how awesome this is. And so went home and immediately started planning on a mudskipper tank. So I had an empty 75-gallon where I built this bank system, which was pretty ambitious because it's raised, and started doing a bunch of research. Made the tank brackish, which is easy, and sourced some mudskippers. One source was a good source, one source was a bad source, but got the mudskippers, the African variant. And at that time, like all of a sudden, YouTube kind of like took off, and because I was making this mudskipper content, and all of a sudden, everyone around the country or world or whatever was kind of geeking out on these mudskippers, and then got more, and so now I have I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks currently with mudskippers, but one of them is just a holding tank. Ooh, that was loud. So,
Right.
but yes, Rocco's got to take a call. But yes, I love mudskippers. They're so interesting. I don't know if anyone here has seen them on my channel or Instagram or anything,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh yeah.
basically,
Definitely.
for those of you that don't know who I am or don't know what we're talking about, the mudskipper is a goby, so it's a fish. It looks like an amphibian because it walks
Mm-hmm.
around on land, but it's a
Right.
fish. But they spend more time out of the water than in the water, which is unusual for a fish.
Right.
So basically, they just have to stay wet. So they'll get out of the water. They'll kind of like perch somewhere, or they'll be like half in and half out of the water, like something super shallow, like a couple centimeters, and then they'll just interact. They're kind of cichlid-like in their behavior because they're
Uh-huh.
gobies, so they'll kind of like squabble and chase, and they've got personality. They're super fun to feed. And brackish water is like, it's not as
Easy.
difficult as people. No, it's pretty easy. So
Yeah. I think if you have a saltwater tank and freshwater, then brackish should be an easy thing.
yeah, it's much easier than salt water. It's 100 times easier than a reef tank.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, 10 times easier than a Fowler tank. It's, a little bit easier than a saltwater tank, or I mean, a little bit harder, but it's basically, with brackish water, you don't have to be perfect. So, because brackish water is where, the ocean and the freshwater rivers and, et cetera, they interact. Right. And so these estuaries, these areas are never exactly the same. Sometimes it's full freshwater. Sometimes the tide comes in and it's full marine water. So it's everything in between. So as long as you're kind of salty, then you're fine. So it's really it's really fun. Yeah.
Like I tried to test my saltwater, my brine shrimp, adult brine shrimp thing I've got, and I couldn't even get it to register on my meter. I was like, dang.
For the salt?
For the salt content that I have in my brine shrimp.
Yeah, actually, for me, when I hatch live brine shrimp, that's more specific than the brackish water, because with the brine shrimp, I'm measuring exactly 2 tablespoons, and where the brackish water, I'm like, that's enough salt, and I just, that's good, and then I check it later with my and I'll check it later for specific gravity. I'm like, I'll just dump a little bit more, or that's perfect, or I'll just add a little fresh. So it's yeah.
Wow.
I
didn't know brackish water was that easy.
It is. It's really easy. So what I've found over the last, I mean, I played with brackish water before, but more seriously, the last 2+ years or something like that. But it's more the mineral content than the actual salinity. So like if someone lives somewhere where the water's super hard, then you could probably get away with a little bit less salt. Like you could even have it like 1.003, 1.004. Like you don't need that much salt in there, just a little bit for the minerals.
Right.
If you're somewhere where the water's super soft, you might want to be at least 0.05, 6, right around there. But even then, you're just adding those reef minerals essentially. So I find that a good marine or reef salt is perfect.
Right.
Cool.
See, I've got really hard water, but lacks calcium. I just think that's so weird. But
yeah,
right.
Atkins is asking me if I use a hydrometer or a refractometer. I've used both, and I always forget which one is which. One of them you just dump it in the water.
Is the tall glass thing, isn't it?
So the refractometer is the one, the eyepiece, where you hold it up to the light and calibrate it. Yeah, I use the refractometer because it's way easier. I just check it every once in a while to make sure it's calibrated, and rinse it off and put it away. So it's
rock
super
and roll,
easy. Yeah, that's what I use.
Right there.
The hydrometer, you gotta
in the oil
dip it in, and you gotta tap it to make sure there's no bubbles and let it settle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just got through moving my 40-gallon saltwater tank from one 40-gallon to another 40-gallon. And you would think, well, Jess, why didn't you just move that tank over instead of moving their contents in it over?
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an overflow set up in the 40 that they're in now. And it's set up for a saltwater, whereas when the other saltwater tank, it was not set up. I had hang-on backs on it. It was bad. But
yeah, I did a Fowler tank with a hang on the back before. Actually, so I used to have an aquarium service business, and I set up a client that wanted a Fowler tank with a hang on the back. It was like a 37-gallon clownfish tank or something, and it was perfect. It was fine. Yeah.
Right. I want to find a tank that's like tall and slender. Mm-hmm. And then not like Like I have a hex tank. A hex tank.
That's what I was thinking.
Saltwater tank. But I wanted one that was tall and slender, but not quite as big as my 40.
You just have to make sure that it's not too tall, or it's going to be a pain to service.
Yeah.
Like if you have to reach down in the bottom or
I have to
down there.
All the way to my armpit.
Right. Yeah.
Measure the length of your arm, and that's how tall it can be.
Exactly. Now, probably with the substrate, and if the substrate wasn't in there, I wouldn't be able to touch the bottom of it. But we've had some more people roll up in here, and we were just talking about HC Aqua. There's Jesse. Good morning, Jesse. We don't get to see you very often.
I know.
Yet. Good morning. I roll down. Ian. Good morning, Ian. And then Misstep, ISHP. Daniel Velez. Michelle Michelle Kinsey. Words
New
got
tongue
hard.
day.
Audra Meyer just had a perfect analogy for the brackish water. And she said that it sounds kind of like cooking as compared to baking. Where cooking, you can wing it, and baking, you need to measure. Yep. So that's exactly.
That's right.
So with a reef tank, you want to make sure I'm at, 1.00 or, 1.023 or 4 or 5, whatever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be like right there, and you have to make sure it's perfect. Where with brackish water, you're like, a pinch of salt, a little less salt, like cooking, right? It's like, it tastes good. So it's perfect analogy. Cooking versus baking. Love it.
Awesome.
Right on.
I'm gonna steal that.
How long or what size tank? Because you may have said this when I went offline, but what size tank do you have your mudskippers in?
Let's see. So the African mudskippers, the big ones are in a 75-gallon. I have a couple smaller ones that are in a 55, and then I have just some that I'm holding right now in a 20 that I have to sell. I have to sell them. I've got a bunch that I'm trying to get rid of, or a few left actually, and then I've got my Indians are in a 40. So kind of a brief story. So obviously with my Mudskipper fame, or whatever you want to call it,
right?
One of the people that that learned about me in Mudskippers was one of the directors at the San Francisco Zoo. And they were in the process of building a new Madagascar exhibit and wanted to put mudskippers in it. And reached out to me, and I said, well, I'm local. He didn't know I was local. He thought I was just somewhere else in the country. I said, I'm local, so I'll come down and, do a quick consultation. So I went over there, and they were already like breaking ground on the project. Well, so we were trying to find mudskippers, but it was during COVID. So we couldn't find any.
Oh.
A few months go by, my friend calls me and said, hey, the wholesaler just got some mudskippers and they're Africans. And I said, okay, I'll meet you there. So I bought a bunch. Cool. So I bought a bunch, and they're super hard to find. They're hard to find anyway, but they're super hard to find during COVID because of shipping. So
is there
I went over.
Is there like? Did I hear you say there was some Indian
there's a lot of different types of mudskippers.
Really?
The basic ones that we have in the hobby are an Indian variant and an African variant. And there's lots of different types that live on those areas anyway. But basically, the Indian one is they're like your pinky at best, or like so they're not very big.
Right.
And maybe even a little bit thinner than that. Where the Africans can get to be like a 4x1 hot dog, where they're like this big and like,
what?
They're like one of mine right now is probably like, I don't know, easy 5 inches long or more.
Way cool.
Thick. So you can't keep them together because the African could eat the Indian. They're that big.
Wow.
But I was going to finish my story. So anyway, long story short, I bought a bunch at the wholesaler. I brought them home. I had them in multiple tanks. And then the zoo contacted me and said, oh, our project got shut down. We're not going to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, now I've got all these mudskippers that I bought that they were going to, reimburse or whatever. So I was like, well, so I started selling them here and there. People would, meet up with me, and I would sell them a couple, and then I sold some at auction. So I have I think like 4 or 5 left to sell. So if anyone's in San Francisco area, because I'm not going to ship these, and if you want a Mudskipper, send me a message on Instagram or something like that. Man, yeah.
Why can't I live in Cali?
Well,
now again, I was looking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've had some super stickers and super chats come through, which I did not even know that feature was working yet. So this is like awesome. So y'all, these are my first super stickers and super chats.
Awesome.
How cool.
Yeah,
thank you a bunch for that, by the way.
Crossed the line. So Fish Tank Barn gave it $3, which I think it was $2.99. Rico Stan, 5, and Miss Shanna, I think it was 2. Yeah,
$2.99,
5, and $2.99. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Cool. That's so cool.
So I was going to ask you again. I'm stalking your Instagram page.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at these Mudskippers right here, and they look like they're like electric blue colored or something like that. What are those?
Yeah, the African Mudskipper has a blue coloration. So
those are beautiful.
Yeah, so if you look at them closely, like you'll see so they have these amazing eyes that are like different colors, and then they're I mean, is it skin or scales? But they're
I gotta show y'all.
Yeah, they have like some different coloration, and then their finnage has like this ridge of blue. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
And then the
like
what's that?
Amazing.
Looks like they're kissing.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they're far apart. And then the Indian Mudskipper is much smaller, and it has like a brown and red fin. So you could actually probably find one there and share it. But so it's a very different color. So if you kind of want that reddish, I think one of your
right here. These are gorgeous, man.
Geek Boy, you're awesome. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. You've got me in tears. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you can see the Indian. So it's way smaller. I mean, if you can look at the substrate, that's not big substrate. It's just little tiny gravel. And yeah, they've got that different coloration. So
that's cool, man.
That I want some, but I'm scared to cross that. I don't know. I'm just scared to do it.
Well, you're doing salt water. Why not do brackish water too?
I think that, can't you set them up in and paludarium may not be the right word, but in
paludarium.
Paludarium. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when I get moved out into the other room, that when I set up my paludarium, I won't. But I don't know. Can you put them with frogs and stuff?
Well, it's brackish water.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know any brackish water frogs. Are there?
I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. Stay on the land side of it.
Yeah, so they'd still have to get in the water to get. Yeah, so
okay.
I don't think that would work with the brackish water.
Okay.
And then you'd have to get a frog that's large enough to not get eaten.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if you do the Indians or the Africans, I guess. But you could do them with, like I keep my Indians with bumblebee gobies. You could keep them with guppies. You can keep them with mollies because they're all brackish water. I've got a couple in my molly tank. You could do fiddler crabs.
Okay.
You could do, if you've got larger Africans, you could do them with brackish puffers.
Oh.
Because they won't be bothering each other too much.
Okay, like the figure eights and
figure eight.
Maybe
even like a green spotted puffer if you have larger Africans, because what will happen is the Africans are big enough to not get bit by the puffer, and they're not in the water all the time. It's rare for me to go and see a Mudskipper in the water. Usually it's always on the surface.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just so cool. So cool. I'm
Those
gonna
are
get
neat,
some, but I'm
man.
gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Those are neat.
Miss Steph, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank y'all so very much for all the super stickers and super chats coming in. Y'all, I love you guys so much. Y'all are awesome.
It's great.
And Joseph Stanley, I did not cry for the record. Okay, I'm like a Harley. I leak a little bit. That's it. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So how many tanks do you have now?
I don't know, because I just took some down to put in some bigger tanks. So maybe like 28 or so, I think.
Okay.
It's right around there.
Yeah. So
So,
are you taking smaller tanks and trying to get into some bigger tanks?
well, like basically, like, so one section I had 410s and I put in 2 16s instead. And those were like grow out tanks and like shell dweller, like fry tanks and stuff like that. I had some mudskippers in them, but basically what I want and what I've made now is every single tank that I have, except for one, is a display tank. So they're all like, so none of them are grow out tanks, breeding tanks anymore. They're all like specifically for those fish, and I want to enjoy them and look at them. So every tank is made specifically to be viewed.
Oh, right
So
on.
yeah.
Holy cow,
Cool.
Matt. You guys.
More money flowing in.
Oh, oh! Quick, get her a tissue.
Man, you'll be able to quit your day job at this point.
Right?
Right.
Man, thank you so
Man, I
much,
tell you what,
Matt.
Zenzo, I mean, you would not believe how this fish family, this is a tight knit group. You know, I mean, we call it the fish fam, and really it is family. It really is. I got screwed by some stuff, you know, but they came and just handled it like a champ and took care of me. And I just, you know, and then other people have done stuff and I've tried to help people out, you know. So I mean, I guess it came full circle, but our viewership, man, I'm not gonna lie, are the most incredible, awesome people on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. The most awesome people ever.
Yeah.
They really are. Really are.
Yeah. I would agree. And you know, so I started to dabble before with doing a different channel, and I might do it again, but I kind of haven't posted in there in like a year. But it was like a fitness channel, but I don't like those channels, or that, even though I'm super involved in fitness, I don't like it so much because it doesn't have that same family feel that you're talking about, where the fish community, most of us are a little bit more nerdy, whatever you want to call it, and so we kind of tend to all gravitate together for our love of aquatics, and yeah, it is a great group. So yeah, awesome.
Just fantastic people, man. Fantastic people.
That's right. We got Chris
Rocko's such a legend.
Good morning. And Rising Sun Aquatics, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Right on.
White Chipmunks, good morning. Lady Diane, good morning. So we try to, we're still small enough so that we still try to say good morning, everybody. Miss Barbara Jackson, good morning.
Barbara.
Miss Susan, good morning. How are you? New Local Austin. He says most of us are down with Zenzo and the co-op. Well, yeah.
All right. Much appreciated.
Right on.
And Miss Susan, we call Miss Susan Fish Mom, Fish Fam Mom. She says Zenzo's been a part of the Fish Fam from the beginning. He's also part of the Fish Tubers. Yep.
Amen.
I know, Liquid Zoo, I got to finish. Okay, so that's why I didn't know that the super chats and super stickers were up yet, because I thought I got everything filled out, but I didn't get like a message saying you're done or you got through it. You know, I wasn't sure if I was done. So I don't know if that part's been done or not. I got to figure it out. So
Robert, what's up, buddy?
We talked about Zenzo's fish room last night.
Huh.
Miss
That's
Pat.
cool.
Thank you,
Yeah.
girl.
See, you're being talked about all the time.
Is that Denver or Denmark? Or is that Den? Oh, it's Den, I guess. Duh.
Dee Dee's Fishy Den.
The fish den.
Yeah.
Den.
Okay.
Me and 503
No.
Aquatic, Shanna, and Miss Dee Dee's Fin Den started a ladies' night last night. So a ladies' stream only. Except for if there are men that want to join us, they are more than welcome to, but they got to put on a wig and a bra.
I won't be there.
I just want to be the first member, so let me know first. Oh, Miss Patty,
Jimmy
thank
P.
you.
Jimmy P says, Rocko, tell Zenzo he's my favorite co-opper. With a
Appreciate
thumbs
it.
up.
Yeah, we're building
One of my faves.
Good team, and yeah.
We've got Bob will be on with us tomorrow.
What's tomorrow? Another stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do this every day?
Yes, we stream
my God.
Aquatic
Monday,
morning show
Tuesdays,
every day.
Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay.
We try to bring any fish news that we can find, and then of course entertainment. And I hopefully, as we grow, I plan on being at most of the fish events, covering them, like a news anchor type thing for the fish family, for the fish world. That's my goal. That's my end goal. But
Lady Diane just asked if mudskippers jump and do they need lids? Yes. So that is one thing. If you are going to have mudskippers, is you're going to need a lid, because they will jump out, and you also want to make sure that the surface of the water, well, depending on the species, but that the surface of the water is far enough away, or the surface of the land, I should say, is far enough away from the top, because even if you have a lid and there's this much space between their platform and the opening, when you open it, they can jump out when you're feeding them. And I've had it happen a couple times where I go to feed, out one jumps, and I'm like on my hands and knees, like moving stuff to catch it underneath the racks. You pick it up, it's all dusty and stuff, like, oh my God. So yes, you want to make sure that they can't jump out even when you go to feed them. So yes, you'll need a lid.
And did you say you had them in a 20 long?
Jesse had them in a 20 long, I believe. I have
the Indians probably in 20
long. Indians in a 20 long. They obviously can't jump as high because they're smaller, so you're fine with a much shallower depth. But with the Africans, I've seen them jump like 7-8 inches. Yeah.
Wow.
So yes.
Wow. Eddie says Zenzo's the buffest fish keeper on YouTube.
Greg,
I don't know about that,
so
but
much.
Appreciate that.
Miss Patty, thank you as well. You guys, y'all are awesome. Andrew, oh my gosh, Tool. I hope I said your last name right. Welcome and thanks for being here. You want to see those tears? They're there. They're there. I'm trying not to. That's like, hold it back.
There's no crying in fish keeping.
Right? Okay. Jesse says you have, yes, I had them in a 20 long, but sadly, yeah, I had to sell them when they moved. Yeah, I know that he had to sell everything until they get settled in the new place.
Medium. That was a reference to a stream yesterday where people were having fun at my tight-fitting clothes. So I said it's extra medium.
There you go.
I said when I hit 100,000, I'll wear a normal extra large shirt. But the larges and the mediums are a little snug on me. So, but yeah.
Did I just?
Oh wow. No crying.
There's no crying in fish keeping now.
I gotta check out 503 Aquatics.
Lord, right, girl, I'm gonna get you.
Way cool, way cool,
Thank
way
you,
cool.
Thank you, Shanna.
Patrick Hardy, $20 from Patrick Hardy. What's going on, buddy? Your stickers are in the mail, by the way.
Y'all are awesome. Like, golly, what am I gonna do with y'all?
Barbecue. That's what I'm down for.
Right? I would if I could.
Well, that is a fun thing. Is like if you just like as a suggestion, like you get the super chats coming in. There's an event like an Aquashella. All of your members or followers are there. You're like, hey, like let's all go out to eat. We'll go to this barbecue joint or whatever, and I'm picking up the tab or whatever, right? And that's a something like that might be fun.
Oh, we have a 310 Aquatics also.
I just saw that too.
welcome to the show. Patrick Hardy. You guys, y'all gotta stop.
How cool.
Joseph,
I don't think Jess will be buying
Aquashella. Yeah, I don't plan on being there this year.
I know. I'm gonna miss you in Dallas.
Yeah, I was in Orlando.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Florida. We're gonna all be in Florida for the ALA, which is like the week before, I think. And just got a ton of stuff going on. So there's like a 1% chance that I'll come out, but most likely I'm not going to. So, but next year,
what's it gonna do to get you to come out to Dallas? What do I gotta do to get you to come to Dallas?
Well, next year I'll probably end up. We'll probably, the co-op will probably be at more Aquashella events. So I think there'll be a chance there. Yeah, I like Dallas. It's always fun to visit. So.
Yeah, everybody just likes seeing everybody. It's kind of like a family reunion.
Right.
We see everybody on YouTube, all the time, but to see hang out face to face is like, talking to your family on the phone and then actually getting to the family reunion.
Jesse, or someone, where I read something someone said that I just spent all of your money, Jimmy P's. By suggesting the dinner. I wasn't implying that. I was just saying it's a
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Rocko mentioned the barbecue, so
right on. Well, you know what, Jess, you said what's it gonna take to get Zenzo to go? Well, you got all those super chats, buy him a ticket.
Right?
No, it's not the money. I know, because that's even when I went so that's not an issue at all. It's just other stuff. So yeah.
Eddie
right on.
Negri. Man, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name.
Negretti, I think.
Negretti. Okay, that sounds better. What happened to Zenzo's beard?
Oh, the beard was I had not grown a beard in probably 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And it was during COVID. I'm like, I'll just try it out. Now's a good time. But my wife hates it. She hates the beard. She doesn't mind looking at it. She hates that it scratches her, like if I hug her, kiss her. So, and so eventually I was like, I'll just shave it off again. It may come back one day. You never know. It's just hair, right? So easy come, easy go. Yeah.
Make a comeback. That's what I'm talking about.
Patrick Hardy, thanks for coming, man. And thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Right on.
He said another $1.99. Chubbs, good morning. Make it here.
So you know Mel?
I'm sorry. What was that?
You know Mel?
Mel
Hawaiian
from Hawaiian? Yeah. He actually came here. It was before COVID. He was IFG. Evan was visiting him, and so they came here and hung out for a day. We went to a couple fish stores, I think, and
Right on.
Yeah, he's only about 2 hours from me. He's in Sacramento area, so
I really dig Mel. He's one of the I'd say small handful of YouTubers that motivated me to do this thing,
Yeah, he has he's very charismatic, and gregarious as far as his personality. So it's kind of fun, entertaining right?
Yeah. He's a good dude.
What
And then
other?
the Ohana.
I'm trying to find questions here in the chat.
That's what I was looking to.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle Kinsey, girl, I know. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much, though. Thank you.
Fish Tank
Shanna.
Barn said, COVID was a time you could relive your youth with mohawks, blue hair, etc., and not get in trouble.
Right?
I also had a mohawk at that time too. So at that time, so
What?
for people that don't know, I work with Aquarium Co-op now. But before I joined the team, I was working in the corporate world, in the supply chain industry, and had a corporate director position, and was always like in a suit and tie kind of a thing.
Awesome.
And then during COVID, of course, like, you know, I still had to interact with customers through the camera, but in the back they couldn't see, like, you know, the mohawk in the back. So I was able to like have like kind of a mohawk or a faux hawk for a while, where you know, I could be a little bit more not corporate, but it was fun for a minute. Yeah.
Way cool, man.
Well, so since we're nearing the end of the special stream, what do you do for the co-op, for Aquarium Co-op? When you took that job, what is your?
Yeah, so quite a bit actually. So technically, what I do is manage the member engagement. You know, specifically our members, which we have about 3,300 paying members, managing their experience as far as booking speakers. So we have a speaker every month, coordinating for different types of events, stuff like that. But because of my skill set and because of Corey's bandwidth and other projects that we're working on, I'm taking on more and more. So you might have seen like me doing like shorts on the co-op channel. What you don't know is like behind the scenes, like I'm doing like marketing stuff, proofreading the blogs, looking at even like sales data, and like looking at. In fact, I've got a meeting later today looking at like you know, how we can retain customers better and stuff like that. So kind of a lot. So everything. So I would say that like all the membership stuff, some YouTube marketing stuff, some product marketing, and analytics.
Yeah.
I guess, or something like that.
So
Yeah.
do you still live on the East Coast, and do you just go to the West Coast every now and then?
I'm in San Francisco, so still on the West Coast.
Okay.
And so here to there, it's, you know, it's only a couple hour flight. So so far I've been up there, I think 3 times since I've joined the team. So, you know, every couple months, just go up, every month or two, go up there. So
you're able to do everything from home now.
Yeah, I just work from home. Yeah, and I've been working remotely for the last, I don't know, 15 plus years anyway. So
cool.
Yeah.
Chattanooga.
Way cool.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
All right, Chattanooga.
All things fish. Good morning. And there was someone else that came in, I think. Tubbs.
Still looking
if
for
I missed you, please let me know. Say, hey, you missed me. I'm here.
Right.
Oh, Barbara was asking about the blankets we were talking about earlier. So Barbara, those blankets Corey ordered and sent here. So I don't know which website, but they came from an acoustic panel, or like an acoustics website where like sound engineers, stuff like that. So they're sound blankets. So like if you look on Amazon, like you'll see like knockoffs, you'll see moving blankets, but you want sound blankets, and the good ones are going to be like, I don't know, $70, $80 plus.
Yeah.
For those blankets.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
And they also help insulate. So like all my aquariums in the fish room, I don't have a heater in any of those. Wow. The room is heated.
Wow.
Yeah, so the room is always between 70 maybe in like we don't really have winter here, but when it's cold, like 40, that room might drop to like 76, 77 degrees. At the coldest time, and then up to like 80, 81. So anywhere from 77-ish to 80, 81. And it's insulated, and those blankets help. So, yeah.
I need to wrap my house in that stuff.
Insulation. That's my advice for anyone building a fish room. Insulation and water in and water out.
Right on, right on. And for those of you that don't know, if you go to www.tazawatanks.com, you can pick up your very own Tazawa Tanks t-shirt with the flexing blue fish.
You could, excuse me, or even better is just go to my YouTube channel, and down below I've got a whole shop where you can get any color, any size, any pattern.
Oh, way cool. I gotta get one.
Because the website, like, that's a limited supply. Like, those are like in my walk-in closet in my office, and like I'm not reordering those, so I only have like a few of this, a few of that left. So if you go to my channel, then you'll have infinite options. Yeah.
I heard that.
Stephen
infinite options.
Yeah. Good morning, Stephen P. and Fishymon. Good morning, you guys. Since we did that special stream, which means we're not going the 2 hours, we're only an hour today. Zenzo's a busy man, and I'm actually going to work today as myself. So,
well, you don't have to now. You made like $500.
Right?
There you go.
I definitely wish I could get out of it, but I kind of keep my word. So I told him I'd be there today.
Right on.
But
right on. Go make
thank you to everybody. I mean, y'all, again, are the best. I love you guys so much. Zenzo, thank you. I know that you're busy. Thank you for taking, an hour out of your life.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
Right on.
And, if you need help or whatever, let me know. I can help. And
any day.
Y'all have events or anything coming up and y'all want somebody to cover them, let me know.
Yeah, the plan eventually is for us to be able to. So we just did an event in Seattle, or at the Aquarium Co-op store up there on Saturday. So the goal is to have more stuff like that around the country, and eventually one day around the world. So we can interact with people. And so if you can't fly to Seattle to hang out with us for a day, then we'll be in Louisiana, we'll be in Florida, Tennessee, Massachusetts, whatever. So yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be able to hang out with all of you one day.
That is such a good way.
That'd be awesome.
Members,
way cool.
That is ingenious way to get
FaceTime. That's it.
It is. Well, I mean, instead of just going through here, you're in person, and
that's what I'm saying.
You're getting out there, and that is just amazing. When I heard about it 2 nights ago, I was like, that is so smart. How come we haven't thought about this? Aquaballs, good morning, George. Thank you. Stephen, thank you. And thank you to everybody that did do the super chats today and the super stickers for the first time that I've done and gotten these. We've got Miss Shanna, Miss Patty, Mr. Patrick, Mr. Greg, Liquid Zoo, ISHP, Geek Boy, Fish Tank Barn, Rico Stan, Miss Shanna again, Michelle Kinsey, and Ed. I don't think I missed anybody.
And you got Steven there at the end?
Oh, I didn't know. Steven at the end. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Steven.
Gotcha. Right on.
So thank you guys so much. And we're going to go out with a song. Oh, Miss Mary Page, you're here, but we're leaving. Oh, my gosh. Good night. Or good night. Yep.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
That's right.
There you go.
Good morning.
Depending on where you're at in the world.
Y'all have a good rest of the day. See y'all.
God bless, guys. You're the best.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Click, 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 click.
All done being live?
2003 Aquatics. We got to get that B-roll, so stay tuned.
I'm trying to focus. I gotta get the B-roll. Time for a close-up and slow-mo. I gotta get the B-roll. It's when we flowing. get the B-roll.